In today's video, I'm going to share with you a Facebook targeting technique that will literally get you targeted right down to a specific building or a specific venue, while most people are going to tell you that the closest you can get is within a 1 mile radius of any address or where you drop your pin on the audience map. But with this pro strat that I'm about to show you right now, that's no longer going to be the case for you, and you're going to get the most relevant clicks you've ever gotten on a Facebook ad campaign. If you and I are just meeting, my name is David, and my passion is in helping you build an online business by documenting my process and sharing the top tips and tricks I've learned over the last 3 years from my coaches, from my mentors, and from my failures that has helped me generate 6 figures. Now, if that sounds like something that you're interested in, please hit the subscribe button and the like button to let me know that you guys like the content that I'm putting out. Now, with that being said, let's just go over a couple scenarios by which this targeting technique would be useful to you. Now, maybe you own a local print store or a virtual print store, and you know that your target audience are the people who work in an office building, right? So instead of targeting an entire 1 mile radius around this office building, my technique, or this technique, can get you right down to that specific building and exclude everything else around it, because the people around that office building, well, they have no reason to really see your ad. Or maybe you are trying to promote a weight loss product, right? And you know that people who are trying to lose weight are probably going to the gym, so you target it right down to a specific gym or a couple gyms to promote your weight loss product. Or maybe you own a subscription box geared towards children, right? So you want to target people who go to a toy store, right? Or even better, maybe you are a life and business coach, right? And you want to target people who are attending a local entrepreneurial conference near you, right? So on that day that the conference is happening, you're targeting that specific venue and anyone who is in that venue. And that, in all 4 scenarios, this technique is going to get you highly relevant clicks through your ads. So without any further ado, let's hop right in. I'll share my screen with you and show you how this technique is done. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is log right into your Facebook Ads Manager. And once you're logged in, come right up to the top left, all tools. Under assets, click on audiences, and then it's going to bring you to this page. And then you're going to want to click on create a saved audience. And the reason you're creating a saved audience is because this method does take a couple more steps than any regular Facebook targeting method. So you're going to want to save it in case you ever want to come back and target the same location again, then you have it ready to go. Now, I'm just going to pretend I have a local Toronto business conference coming up that I want to hit and target. So I'm going to name my audience Toronto Biz at Scotiabank Arena. And then you're going to change this, people who live in this location, to everyone in this location, okay? And then for the location, you're going to put the address of the exact building or venue that you're going to want to target. So you're going to go to Google and pick up the address. I have that here already, 40 Bay Street. Enter that, search, and then the pin drop should take you directly to the building or the venue. Yep, that's my building right here. And you're going to change this down to 1 mile radius, okay? And for the most part, people are going to tell you that this is as close as you're going to get, a 1 mile radius. But with this next technique that I'm going to show you, I'm going to prove that wrong and show you how you can get even closer than this 1 mile radius, okay? So you're going to want to, don't zoom in too close, but you want to zoom in enough so that you can be somewhat accurate for this next step. You're going to change this from include to exclude, and then you're going to click on drop pin. And then now what you're going to do is start dropping pins on the outside along the 1 mile radius of where you actually want to target. So for this one, I'm just going to drop it right there. And the sad thing is you can't, well, after you drop a pin, you can't really move it around. So you're just going to have to sort of guess and then delete the pin and re-drop a new pin if you didn't really hit the spot that you want. But you're going to change that from 10 mile radius down to a 1 mile radius, and you're going to see what happened here. Basically, you've excluded this section right here of a part that is supposed to be included, right? And if I go in a little bit more, let me see. So this is the building that I'm trying to target, right? You can see that my circle is a little bit off, which is okay. It's not that big of a deal. It's probably what, like maybe 100 meters or so. So let's just say I want to get a little bit closer, right? So what I can do is delete this pin, and and then come right back down again, click drop pin, change this to a 1 mile radius, come in, double check. And that's a little better, a little bit in, but that's okay, I can readjust later. So then you can do the same thing for the next one, drop pin, and you're gonna come down here, change this to, this one to a 1 mile radius, come in, and just double check where you are now. Okay, this one's pretty good, right? So this section's excluded. So you see what I'm doing? Basically creating overlaps of exclusion of my inclusion zone. And then I'm gonna do the same thing again, drop. And for the most part, 4 or 5 exclusion drops are gonna be pretty good. You might wanna go more if you wanna get really, really specific. So the next one's gonna be right about there. Change this to a 1 mile radius, come right down, let's double check. Yep, that's pretty good. Okay. I just want to cover up that part now. So I'm going to drop a new pin. Whoop, get a little closer. Right about here. Whoop. There you go. Change this to a 1 mile radius. Come down, double check. Okay. So this one here, this one is pretty good. The first one is still a little bit too close, so I'm just going to delete that one. And come back down, drop another one right about there, change that to a 1 mile radius, and just double check that. There you go, pretty good. Right, so now of the entire inclusion zone there, you've basically overlapped exclusion zones over the areas that you don't actually want included, which means that you've basically just left this one little area of where you're trying to target included. And that's basically how you get the targeting done, right? And of course, if you want to exclude this little bit of area right there, you can drop another circle that will overlap to exclude that. You can drop another circle above here to exclude this part and exclude this part and exclude this bit of the highway there. But that's pretty close, okay? Like, I mean, people are gonna be walking around outside too anyways, right? People who attend the venue are gonna be coming up the street, coming out of the transit here, coming off the highway. So this is all good. You can zoom right out. So once this is all done, you can actually see here that you're still reaching potentially 130,000 people in this area, right? But of course, if you're only targeting for a specific day on the day of the event, it's not going to reach 100,000, 130,000 people. But it is good to know that you're still going to be reaching people just by pointing that one area. Now, I wouldn't specifically recommend you add any more specific targeting. Of course, if you're promoting a product that's only targeted towards women, like let's say you are promoting a women's weight loss product, and you're targeting a specific gym, then yes, change that to women. But for the most part, you could leave it all as is. For language, I usually just put English all. It's just a habit. And I wouldn't necessarily do any detail targeting either because of how geographically targeted you are already. It might actually make it harder for your ad to show if you add any detail targeting. And if, say for me, my business conference, I know that people are at the business conference because they're probably interested, well, in business in general. And if I'm a life and business coach and they're interested in becoming an entrepreneur, then anyone who's there I'd be happy to show my ad towards, right? I don't necessarily have to niche right down to saying people who also are interested in Gary Vee and also interested in drop shipping or e-commerce, or they want to start their own social media marketing agency type of thing, right? It doesn't really matter. And then just to finish it off, you can go create audience, and then that's it right there. Toronto Biz Conference, Scotiabank Arena, saved audience size, available. And that's how you set up that very specific targeting. I feel like this is going to help a lot of people. I don't know why it hasn't been talked about more often, because the tools by Facebook are available. It's just a matter of figuring out how to use the tools and making it work for you, right? So just before I wrap it up, I want to cover two things as well. One of the things is that Facebook may sometimes tell you that your targeting is too small. Now, that's not a Facebook error or anything, or a targeting error. It's just a cautionary message to you. And you can ignore that because Facebook is basically just telling you that your audience may be too small. But if your goal is to target, just say, a specific venue for a specific conference, then you know yourself that you only have to reach the 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 people who are at that venue on that specific day. So that's totally okay. You can just ignore Facebook telling you that your audience is too small. And another problem that some people might run into is, or not, it's not a problem, but you might see that your CPA it's going to be quite high. But that's okay too, because you're paying the higher ad spend for more highly relevant clicks as well, right? So, and a highly relevant click is a lot more valuable than what you would otherwise be getting on a regular ad set or within a 1 mile radius of targeting all these people and people who aren't even really relevant to you, to your reach, clicking on your ad and wasting your ad spend, right? So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope this pro strat helped you out in some way or form. If it did, let me know in the comments below, and I hope you guys subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Look at me.